Welcome back, one and all. It is now time for What's Hot. This is where we talk about the stories that have everybody talking.
We are joined by local blogger Rochelle Fritsch, and Jeff Wagner is back with us. A Minnesota man is upset after his family was asked to leave a Southwest flight, get off the flight because of a tweet.
Duff Watson, if that's his real name, said he was asked to deboard the plane with his two kids after an agent did not like a tweet he wrote about her service, calling her the rudest agent. Should the family have been asked to get off the plane?
They said if you delete the tweet, you can stay on the flight.
Right. Now, this is one of these stories where nobody is right. Obviously, in my opinion, the airline is wrong about this, and the gate agent just, I think this was one where she probably was on this power trip. But this guy is a jerk. Here's the deal. I mean, he was traveling with a 6- and a 9-year-old kid. The way Southwest works is, you get boarding based on priority, and then you go and you pick your seat. He was in the first 15. The kids were boarding like 30 or 40 passengers later. He was demanding that the kids should come up and get on with him, and they told him no. Well, okay, most people, and when I've had this happen, I go back and I wait to get on with the kids. So the guy's a jerk. Having said that, he shouldn't have been tossed off. Shame on Southwest.
Well, I mean, there were a ton of different ways to handle this, like a ton of better different ways. But here's the thing. First of all, as a business, they do have the right to refuse service if they want to. As a citizen, this guy has the right to say whatever he wants. All he did was the equivalent of posting like a negative review like you do on Yelp. At the same time, there are also consequences to that. So I'll go with you and say no one was wrong here, but they were extremely, extremely extreme. And from a marketing perspective, there is a ton of different stuff they could have done to rectify it.
Well, I don't know that getting him off the plane makes sense.
No.
Because the gate agent said she felt threatened. So you're going to take him off the plane and put him where the gate agent is?
Right.
And then it scared the kids, too.
And
because
she
said, I'm going to call the police. The kids are upset. They don't know what's going on. Put him on the flight, deal with it when he lands.
And it wasn't a threatening
tweet.
He didn't use profanity.
Yeah,
so,
the tweet says, hey, I've just met the rudest gate agent possible. Her name is Karen S., Gate 39 in Denver. I mean, that's all he said. It wasn't threatening at all. And see, I think this is one of these object lessons for everybody in the public eye and everybody in business. Now, with social media, stuff is instantaneous. If you get what you perceive as bad service, and again, I think the guy was wrong in his beef, but nevertheless, you get what you perceive as bad service. In real time, you're going to be there blasting people, and companies have to, I think, learn how to deal with this.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and in real time, too, if you've been married, like, even over 2 minutes, you know how easy it is to say, saying sorry covers up a bunch of stuff. Say you're sorry, we'll look into this, we're sorry about your experience, and move on.
And I have a What's Hot related life hack for us today. If you're in the early group and you want to sit with somebody in the later group, get on the plane and sit in the middle seat, because odds are no one is going to sit next to you
they don't want to climb
if you've
over
already
you.
taken up the middle seat. There's your life hack for the day. Coming up next, we reveal the viewer's choice topic of the day.
You're that guy, huh? And Brian Goddard is back with another look at the forecast today.
Again, we are joined by Rochelle Fritsch and Jeff Wagner from 620 WTMJ. The viewer's choice topic today: released sex offenders now have a tougher time finding a place to live in Milwaukee. The Common Council voting to prevent certain offenders from living within 2,000 feet of schools, daycares, parks, and playgrounds. What do you think about this?
I think there's two different things going on here. The first being is that the State Department of Corrections is placing sex offenders primarily in the city of Milwaukee. So 85% of offenders within Milwaukee County are in the city. And so that's one issue. The Common Council, I think it seems, is coming back maybe, I don't know, with a way to make it harder for these people to find housing. Because if you think about it, the restrictions are that it's like 2,000 feet from a city or a park. That's basically a mile. Think about our city, all the schools, all the parks.
And what it does is it pushes people to areas that don't have these rules.
Exactly.
And then you start seeing pockets develop.
And there's very few of those because, I mean, what Milwaukee is doing, the city of, is in response to what the vast majority of communities in Milwaukee County already do. I think there's only 2 or 3 municipalities in Milwaukee County that don't have rules like this. So that's one of the reasons why when the Department of Corrections was trying to place people, you know, they could really only go to the city of Milwaukee and 1 or 2 other locations. So that's what their response is. Here's part of the issue. These released sex offenders have to go somewhere. Nobody wants them in their communities. And so it's a problem that I think has to be tackled on the statewide basis as to what you're going to do with this. Because I don't care who you are, you don't want to be living across the street from some guy who's molested kids. You just don't.
Yeah, I don't know a solution for it. I mean, there are other communities that have this, maybe looking at other places that have found some secret, something that works. I don't know. It is time for our lightning round. A Minneapolis woman said she had enough of the comments made to her on the street, so she created cards against street harassment. She hands those cards to the folks that make comments about her or how she looks. The cards are meant to give them feedback. Their behavior is unwelcome. She also walks around, I don't know if I think it's her phone. She's got her phone rolling and records these. You know, people will say, "Hey, beautiful." And then she'll walk up to them and say, "Excuse me, are you talking to me?" And engages them in this dialogue and asks them.
Have you ever ogled, catcalled, whatever you want to call it, Jeff, in your days?
I wasn't raised that way.
Yeah.
No, I just was. But here was my question. Now, obviously, like Steve and I have no framework of this because, you know, people don't go, you know, "Hey, good looking," as we're walking down the street. But ladies, I mean, has this happened to you, and how do you react? Are you offended by it or what?
Here's the important part of the story, okay? She's 28. She's 28. That's really, really important. I remember 28 and 20 and getting my nose out of joint a little bit. I'm a little bit past that age now. So if there's a "Hey, beautiful," I'm all like, "Do you mean me?" Well, thank you.
So you're telling her she needs to look ahead to the future?
I'm sorry. But you know, in all honesty, can we get our feelings off our shoulders? If somebody, seriously, if somebody says you're beautiful, I don't care how old you are, that makes me happy.
Well, the comments that she has on video, they're not crass. People are saying nice things to her, and she must have a lot of time on her hands because at one point she said, "I'm just heading back to work," but yet she's standing and having a conversation with this man for 5 minutes.
And she's turned it into a cottage industry. Here's the card, and here's what you said, and this is why I'm offended. And
people are going online. They're printing these cards. They're getting on the bandwagon. So I don't know if you're a guy, you might want to think before you comment.
Well, and I'm sure.
Get a card.
I'm glad you mentioned what you did, Rochelle, because I'm sure there are issues that I'm glad you made the point that this isn't crass. My guess is that there's a lot of women who are walk, you know, in certain areas, for example, and the comments that are made to them aren't comments that, you know, you would want in a polite society.
And I don't think those are the people that you would want to approach either.
Well, exactly. And you shouldn't be walking there then.
All right. Keep your mouth shut. The What's Hot discussion continues online. Find it at tmj4.com/hot.